Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
Hi friends, today we are going to talk about the fifth Sarsang Chalak of Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. His name was K.S. Sudarshan. K.S. Sudarshan was Sarsang Chalak for 9 years and he became a Sarsang Chalak in year 2000. After 9 years, he handed over the mantle of this position to the current RSS Sarsang Chalak, that is Dr. Mohan Bhagwat. So prior to that, from 1990 to 2000, K. Sudarshan was the Sarkareva, that is the General Secretary of the RSS. So now, why we are talking about K. Sudarshan? One, that on June 6th this year falls his birth anniversary. He was born in 1931 at Raipur, which is in Chhattisgarh now. And the second reason we are talking about him is that the issues which he took up and the issues which he took up actually laid the foundation of a process which has culminated into some very important and significant decisions by the present government at the center, that is Modi government. So now let's look at three key issues which Mr. Sudarshan had picked up, and about which he created a body of knowledge also around that, and he created action plans around that. And the first key issue is that is the illegal migration of Bangladeshis from across the border. So when Sudarshan was a pracharak, that is a full-timer with RSS in Northeast, and he went to Northeast in 1977. So when he went there, he studied the problem of northeastern states, and two issues which he very clearly identified. One issue was that there was a lot of illegal migration of Bangladeshi Muslims which was happening from across the border, which was changing the demographic profile of Assam and some other states also. And so he warned about the issues which can come up in the near future, and the result was we saw that much later the Assam Gan Parishad picked up this issue, and there was a huge movement there. Mr. Sudarshan also urged at that time that these Bangladeshi Muslims, they need to be deported back, but the Hindus which are coming from Bangladesh, they are basically the victims of the high-handedness of the government, and also they are facing religious persecution there. So that is why the Hindus are migrating here. So they should be given refuge and they should be given the citizenship, while the Muslims from across the border who are coming here, so they should be deported back. Now we have seen that the current government brought the Citizenship Amendment Act, and which has granted citizenship to Hindu migrants who have come here from Bangladesh, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and so this is one of the issues which as early as in 1970s Sudarshan had picked up, and he also played a very key role in ensuring that when the Assam Gan Parishad movement started, to send all the non-Assamese back from Assam. So he ensured that it was not turned against the Bengali Hindus, and the focus of the movement should remain on deporting back largely the Muslims. And we saw the culmination of this thought process of Sudarshan finally in when this current government brought Citizenship Amendment Act. The second key issue which Sudarshan took up was the issue of self-reliant India. Now we have seen the Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his government has launched this program of Atmanirbhar Bharat, that is self-reliant India, in wake of the COVID-19 situation. And this government's focus has been already on promoting self-reliance, but now the government is officially going out for it in a big way. So this Atmanirbhar Bharat, this issue was already flagged by Sudarshan in 1990s when the economic liberalization had begun. So it was through his encouragement that an organization called Swadeshi Jagran Manch was set up, and it picked up the issues like foreign direct investment, like patent regimes, like pressure of the WTO for cutting or for reducing subsidies in Indian agriculture. So all these issues were picked up, and they at that time went all out to push for a Swadeshi model of development, which the current government is right now talking, and the government is taking a lot of steps about that. So as early as 1990, Sudarshan had talked about that, and at that time, even when there was a BJP government led by Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, so there used to be a lot of difference of opinion on lot of economic issues, and many saw that it was at that time a lot of commentators tried to analyze it in a way that okay, the RSS is trying to assert its position vis-a-vis Mr. Vajpayee, and that's why Swadeshi Jagran Manch is picking up that issue. But they did not realize that actually that was not the case. Swadeshi Jagran Manch, guided by the senior RSS Pracharak and ideologue Dattopant Thengdi and Mr. Sudarshan especially, who outlined the model of Swadeshi economics. So under their guidance, the Swadeshi Jagran Manch was trying to build up a body of knowledge. The Swadeshi Jagran Manch was trying to showcase a Swadeshi model of economic development, and that's why it was opposing certain government policies. But at that time, because Mr. Vajpayee was in a coalition government, so there were a lot of issues which Swadeshi Jagran Manch had picked up at that time, but the Vajpayee government could not take all their demands into account, and could not agree to all the demands which they had made. Also at that time, there was a lot of positive atmosphere in towards globalization, and globalization was seen as the solution for every economic problem. But then if we compare it with the current situation, so Mr. Narendra Modi, he has been talking about the Swadeshi model ever since his party came to power with full majority in 2014, and now he has a greater strength in Lok Sabha, and in Rajya Sabha also the BJP has improved its tally, so they are able to push all the major bills through. So if we compare the difference in terms of economic policies when it comes to the Vajpayee government and the Modi government, one key difference is that especially in wake of COVID-19 and a couple of recessions have happened over the last couple of decades, so this myth that globalization is the utopia and globalization can provide solutions to all the problems, so that myth is not there. So, and also Mr. Modi has got a majority on Lok Sabha on his own. Though he is running a coalition government, but BJP can push the bills through or its own also, and can take forward the policy initiatives on its own also, and the opposition is in a much weaker shape right now. So that is one thing, and the third important thing which Mr. Sudarshan had taken up was, as I mentioned a little bit earlier also, that there is a urgent need to, he always used to say there is an urgent need to connect Northeast closely with the rest of the India, and we have to remove that sense of alienation. He also flagged the issue that massive conversions of tribals into Christianity are going on, which is changing the demographic profile of the northeastern states, and that led to a lot of separatist movements there. That was his prognosis of the problem there. Now when after Mr. Modi came to power in 2014, so the current government, it has all of us know, has taken up northeastern region of the country as a top priority. In fact, that was a state, one of the first states where Mr. Modi visited after becoming the Prime Minister, and since then the cabinet ministers have been asked to go there regularly, and the agenda of the northeastern development is much higher on this government's you can say priorities as compared to any other government in the recent times. And we are seeing the results also. In fact, the BJP has gained hugely from the attention which this government has paid to Northeast. Before 2014, the BJP was almost non-existent in northeastern states, but now the lotus has been blooming all over the place. Anyway, having said that, coming back to Mr. K.S. Sudarshan, the fact remains that it's very interesting to look at the legacy of Mr. Sudarshan. He also talked about organic farming, and he was also a strong votary of cow protection. So all these issues we have seen now coming up time and again, and the current government is also taking a lot of steps on these fronts. So we can say that what we are witnessing today, especially in context of three key issues. One is the formulation of CAA, that is Citizenship Amendment Act. Second is the northeastern states, the priority being given to northeastern states, and the third is the Atmanirbhar Bharat movement, that is a self-reliant India movement. So all three have a major stamp of Mr. K.S. Sudarshan's legacy on it. Thank you.